As we find ourselves getting ready for tonight's race. Once again, thank you for joining with us here on Broadcasting as you're watching the Full Send Racing Series, the last race of the round at 12. Who moves on to the Elite 8? So we take a look at our qualifying results. Pole sitter goes the Texas Speed driver, the driver that won the first race of the season. It's the 28 of Tony Brent, first driver looking out, outside looking in ninth place in points.
There you are, Valbash.
We're going to be in second place.
Nashville.
Tonight's race going to be in third. Zach Hall, last week's winner, only driver officially locked into the Elite 8.
Some boo-boos were made on qualifying.
In sixth, seventh goes the one machine of Will Bustler.
But we did it in the name of full sending. Did not work.
John Dart, another driver that's outside looking in, going to be in ninth. Finishing out our top 10 is going to be Travis Dart, the 26th machine.
Trey Jackson filling in for Cameron Sarton will roll off in 11th with Noah Carter in 12th. Alex Jones will start in 13th with Brian McCann all the way down in 14th position. Philip Chavez will be 15th. Andrew Medlin 16th.
Little mid-pack racing.
Start in 17th. William Duff will be 18th. Sam Siegel will start in 19th.
Yep.
Ryan Lynch will be in the 20th position.
In 21st, we find the 10 machine.
They just said Brian McCann way back there in P14.
Toughest task of the night. It's the 99 to Brandon Conley in 22nd position. He's got a lot of work to make sure that he moves on to the next round. He's starting at 7 points, just 7 points.
Tony Brent got the pole.
Side of our top 10.
Nice. Ken right behind him. I told you Ken was fast.
Yep.
Finishing out our 25 drivers here tonight, it's Peter Dillon of the 27 machine. 25 drivers in total going to be starting here tonight. Looking at the points, it was a weird situation that we were looking at, Trevor, of how could drivers take the last place position away from Cameron Sarton. That's not even thinking about the small battles that we're going to be seeing from Ross Tate to Brandon Connolly, Travis Dart, to Tony Brent and John Dart. But if you just wanted to jump over and take Sarton's position in points, well, the ultimate goal for Tony Brent, finish inside of the top 12. If you don't finish inside of the top 12, make sure you get some.
I don't have chat.
Have a little bit of a buffer on where else to finish. Other drivers like John Dart, Will Bustler, Chris Stitz, you got similar Bustler, Chris Stitz, you got similar strategies. Finish inside of the top 10, for some inside of the top 5, and you can find your way into the next round of the playoffs. So it's going to be all about points here tonight. But Trevor, before
I didn't check everything.
Your final thoughts.
Get ready.
Next battle's going to be great.
All right, buddy. Here we go.
To get into the next round, get the win. And right now, I mean, a couple cars up front. You got to look at
Pace cars off.
Chris Stitz. I mean, looking pretty good. Outside looking in. Drivers got a lot of speed.
45's on the inside, blinking out a little bit.
Race underway.
Drivers are set. They're prepared. 146 laps.
They're going
tonight. Stage break at lap 40.
Stacking up a little bit.
For some drivers on how you point and race the end of the night. Or just the tires in pit road and restart zone. The impact sim designs 195. There's a little bit of wheel spin in the middle of the field, but up front it's all Tony Brent, Ken Campbell. They launch down into turn number 1.
Got a little bit of a scattered restart there, guys.
Check. Got the 11 down low.
And not run over one another. Tony Brent,
clear low.
In the center of the corner. That's going to
11 sending it in. 12 with you.
Really going to get that pass done on the 28 machine. So Tony Brent giving up that lead.
11 still there.
Restart
clear low.
Second is Chris Stitz goes around on the outside.
Just a lot of confidence. It's cold tires. The driver
11 back there.
Back on the gas and throttle and the interesting trends of are they going to feel a lot of teeth?
Still there.
Entry and exit are going to be the battles throughout the night on how can you get cars to rotate properly without over rotating. It's Ken Campbell leads lap number 1. The battle for second.
And you're going to see a lot of side by side here.
As they roar down into turn number 3.
You get the 101 underneath you now.
It's a lot of those that are outside looking in with some strong early positioning.
You checked up, you're clear low.
With that of Christopher Morris trying to make the pass on his team to Zach Hall.
Yeah, Morris trying to get from the inside there. Zach Hall just saw in front. Chris Stitz gets that position.
Hold on it.
And then 28, Zach trying to go around the outside.
I don't like that bottom side when you kick the throttle.
So you can really get the momentum off the corner and get a drive down the back straightaway. You want to be on that bottom low. Now those two still battling. Will Bustler clear of the battle behind him. That's going to be the 7 of Cedric Hunter. The 5
going to be a little gentler.
Behind those guys, Morris going to have to fall in line behind his teammate. Just a little bit of contact through the center of the corner, but pretty clean so far as he starts to see the file out. It looks like the 7 Hunter able to get that spot away from the 5 from John Dart as well.
There's a stack up front.
Leaders ran the fastest lap without any help. Ken Campbell. Yeah, they're side by side after P2. second, third, fourth, fifth are all side by side. Then it's pretty much single file, except for the two just right in front of you.
Recognize, hey, we've got the tire rubber. Let's use it. And Zach Ball now puts the pressure on Tony Brent, as well as other drivers. Christopher Norris backs in that outside lane. Trevor, we talked about how the outside lane can be utilized through 1 and 2, but we're also seeing it through 3 and 4 currently.
Yeah, a lot of grip on that outside line through 3 and 4. Kind of surprised to see that. Typically, you'd see these guys running around the bottom, but these guys looking pretty comfortable to be up there on that top line, especially through 3 and 4. And it gets kind of tight up there. You got to be careful about that outside wall, but right now, Christopher Norris utilizing it well. We saw the 17 of Sticks utilize it. 32 of Zach Hall. Tony Brent just kind of going backwards here on his bottom line. Not sure if he's trying to save maybe a little bit of tire or later in the run. But 28 definitely looking uncomfortable as everybody starts to freight train around him on the outside. But Norris with a little bit of contact for that outside wall.
And I feel like we're seeing kind of similar trends for Tony Brent to what we would see Ross Tatum do in the 21 machine. You know, qualify well, and give up some of that time and position for later on in the run. Get a lot more.
12 going outside. You should have the run off. You're clear up.
Tony Brent has lost the most so far here tonight. Up
Stay in it.
He continues to drop backwards. Ross Tatum, another one of those drivers, 6th place, only a 9-point buffer over Tony Brent. So 21. All he needs to make sure is he's got a little bit of a good gap in front of him. That's another driver.
24 outside, right front.
On back is John Dart. Issues for the 5 machine. He is going back quickly as he went into the grass.
Yeah, went into the grass, had some contact with Cedric Hunter, who had to check up after the one of Will Bustle bounced off the outside wall. Those two made contact with each other. So John Dart through the inside grass.
24 still there.
All that track position that the 5 had was up to 8. He was looking to battle 28 and the 7. Now all the way back to that of 24th position for the 5 with John Dart.
All the way back.
24 got a little loose. You are clear up.
Machine. Only 24 drivers took the green here this evening. Another driver that's trying to make his way forward very patiently. It's the 8 machine. Brian McCann. Shockingly not.
12 was pretty much following you through whatever holes you open up.
Get up front, especially with this track, and it evolves into a lot more of a tighter course. I know the 8 machine is very dominant in those type of driving style courses.
Yeah, he's usually one of the best when it comes to a really tight race car. He gets around it really quickly. Just like you said, didn't have the greatest of qualifying run for himself. I think qualified all the way down in that of about 13th position. Or I'm sorry, down there in 14th position for himself. Right now falling behind him.
Clear up.
83 of Noah Carter. You see how much in movement he's putting in as we have Brian.
83 didn't have any exit speed that time.
Top
got him behind you now. That is going to put you in P11, up three spots so far.
For this race car around this racetrack.
Yeah, especially on the fact that the tires are so crucial as well. They want to make sure you don't get that outside wall off the exits. Now it's right on board.
Leader's last lap, 30.99. Yours 30.9.
Really focusing on who's to get through the.
You tied his lap.
Really working the wheel and off the exit. Slightly different. Looks like McCann's working the wheel as Medlin tries to keep it as smooth as possible. Trying to aggravate those tires too much.
Medlin's looking a little bit smoother on corner exit. McCann doing a little bit more work. We'll have to see what that's going to look like later into this run when the tires wear.
The only double file running right now in front of you is literally right in front of you.
Up through the field. There, McCain a little bit better job than Medlin. Medlin's struggling. He's been struggling over the last couple of weeks, but he's looking to be inside of the 83 Noah Carter here through 1 and 2 and see if he can get this pass done here down the back straightaway.
Noah Carter coming in. He's been a part-time driver for the majority of this season, and because of his owner, him switching over to going to be a crew chief. Brent. Noah Carter was given the okay.
You're clear up.
As much as he did.
I'm really surprised you've got that kind of turn off coming off the corners and still able to hold that kind of speed.
We moved back up to Tony Brent, got the pole center award. This 28 has fallen back to 6th place. This is where he's stabilized for now.
And you are really keeping it low.
I just want to get up.
45 outside.
Brent is about 2 tenths slower than our leader, Ken Campbell.
Still there.
I don't know what's going on with Tony right now. If maybe the calls, hey, let's save some tire. We're only 12 laps into this run, so I mean they still have
45 still there. Clear.
To go before we get to the stage break, so maybe the go time is not quite there. Trying to run back down the one of Will Bustler, but he's got Cedric Hunter kind of
P9
right now. But up front, it looks like a battle for the lead Bruin, Sam, with Ken Campbell and Chris Stitz.
And running very similar order in their timing between the 15 of Ken Campbell and the 17 of Chris Stitz. And
Leader's last lap was 31.10. Yours was an 11.
That was back when they were running in the trucks at this track. Surprised to see Ken Campbell continuing on with the trend that this looks correct. Ken is hoping to carry on with great momentum given tonight, fifth in points, but Chris Stitz is putting the pressure on. Qualified third was a 17 machine, needed a great points day, and honestly, just getting good points.
You're faster than 4 of the guys that are in front of you.
17 to really just know, hey, I can finish in the top 5, and I have a very good plan of making myself and pointing my way into the next round.
Yeah, I mean, it'd work out really well for him. Get these good stage points here, and 9 stage points if he finishes behind King Campbell.
There you go. Now that you're not in traffic, let it eat coming up off the corner.
It's the mindset for him is going to be, I want to go out here and win and lock myself in and not have to worry about maybe not making it on points, applying all the pressure to the rear end of that 15 machine of King Campbell. And
letting that right front eat a little bit too much.
With those two up front. Cars on track the last couple of laps.
Well, that's what I thought you were doing when you were keeping it low off the corners. I mean, you were really keeping it turned to the left.
Session as the drivers are gifted.
It's loose as hell.
Wow.
5-minute practice session before qualifying begins. A lot of drivers did it.
Hey, Brian, thanks for the like.
A lot of practice time. Our front runners did. They put in over almost 60 laps or more. Zach Hall, on the other hand, only put in a total of 6 laps of practice time. This 32 just came in with a lot of confidence, and it helps after being automatically locked into the next round with his win last week.
Yeah, you take it a little bit easy this week. Just come out here.
This is 100% a right front track, though.
You just don't have to put a lot of practice time in.
Well, in practice, you were using more of your right rear than your right front.
A little bit of momentum going into next week, which I believe is auto club. So, just out here running the laps, doesn't have to worry about getting the win, doesn't have any stress on him. You can just go out there and have some fun here tonight.
Yeah,
I'm a little off balance going through traffic, but it's not too bad.
The drivers go with
How much are you having to adjust your brake bias?
Drivers are going to be taking off next week because of Thanksgiving right around the corner. So a lot of drivers are going to be adventuring all around during that week. So drivers get next week off. With
+3 in the car right now. I can go much lower.
Okay.
Hunter going to be making the pass on Brent. Pulls back out to 7th place for this 28 machine as he fights on back. Doesn't want to lose any more ground. Recognizing
Leader's last lap was a 21. Yours is 23.
Track position as quickly as the 28 did at the initial point of this race. I think he's learning it was a major mistake.
It's very, very competitive inside the top 9.
Track position reliant.
Yeah, you don't want to give up all that track position because, like you said, it is very track dependent.
It's all about that trail braking, I think.
It only came in 5 points below that.
It's going to be a lot of getting on and off pit road also.
Intent.
How aggressive you can be without speeding, really being aggressive getting on and then carrying max speed off without coming back up on track and getting a black flag.
Harder as opposed to dropping back as far as he has.
The only good thing that you can take from Tony Brent is that at least we are still in stage racing. If we can get a good gap of stage points in
They pulling away.
and Travis start
What I'm doing ain't working.
right now on screen.
They're also, they got a little bit of draft there.
40 top 10 drivers get bonus points. If you win, you get 10 bonus points. Second gets 9, third gets 8. Continues to dwindle down each position down 1 extra.
I might have been giving it too much angle.
We only get 1 bonus point. So if we see Brent and Dart finish where they're at, Brent would just be 1 point behind. We just have to make sure he's 2 positions.
All right, if low cutting the corner before was helping you,
Concerned about the one-wheel hustle.
try going back to that. I was just thinking with having that much left in the wheel, you're wearing more tire out.
You had a good qualifying round, but then guys that were also
I think I'm on to something right here.
great runs.
Instead of arching in, I'm going lower on entry. It's helping.
28 crew, but we'll
Okay.
see how they can turn it around here as this run continues to the stage break and what they can do post-stage break. But I mean, also what's going to happen with the 17 of Chris Stitz, Will Bustler in the 1, and how they're going to fare for the rest of this race.
There you go. Yeah, you're gaining a little bit.
We want to focus on came into tonight.
Leader's last lap was a 31. Yours is a 26. Right in front of you is a 31 and a 29.
Brandon Colley back in 18th, really in no man's zone. No one's close to him behind or in front. But Colley's looking like he's going to get no stage points. This is going to put the 99 in a tricky position, who's only gained 4 positions since this race has dropped the green. And those are positions you've seen John Dart have his big slip up, just having a much quicker pace than everyone else. But Colley needs to find some top 5 pace if he's going to move on to the next round. Otherwise, he can be eliminated in round 1 of the playoffs.
Yeah, he needs to pick up the pace quite a lot for Brandon Colligan. Kind of surprised to see him have a bad qualifying run.
That's Tony Brennan. That's the pole sitter, ain't it?
He was up there in the top 10 in practice leads, so kind of surprised to see him back there. But the leader, you got the 77 of William Duff.
Yep.
Jonathan Burton, the 6th, Sam Siegel, all these guys having their own little battle back here from about 19th on to 22nd position. Is John Dart's going to be the last driver on the lead lap, or second to last driver on the lead lap, to see they're able to get around the 27 of Peter Dillon.
F5's catching up to this group very quickly. C77 William Duff, the host of the On the Throttle podcast, as they talk about racing related, real life racing related podcasts, as they upload weekly. NASCAR's been included. They are trying to find other racing related things to talk about. It's John Dart came in tonight, 10 points. Just
This guy's holding you up.
He's running up front instead of our top 10. Now that you're in 23rd. I mean, that one mistake, Trevor, could be the mistake that really takes out this spot.
Little dive bomb.
Be a tough pill to swallow after how great.
Right rear.
Tonight.
Had a great qualifying run. Had a great season. Been really consistent all season.
All clear.
Good job.
It wasn't even of his doing. There was just a couple of other drivers that got involved, bouncing off the wall in front of him and kind of shot him down into the grass. So it made a tough road to recovery for John in the 5 to try to get back up into a good position to maybe point himself into the next round. But right now, Alex Jones in the 45 trying to do some battle here with, I believe, it's Jay Becker in the 10 right in front of him. And as well, the 101 of Philip Chavez for 15th, 16th, and 17th.
P8 up 6.
Alex Jones, one of the drivers that's been trying to find a little bit more consistency. Both by 19, finished 19th last week at the Roval. This season's been
Peter's last lap was a 50. Yours is also a 50.
20. His best finish so far was 12th this season, twice at Homestead, Dover. So if he has some speed at the Roval, you expect the speed to carry on. I mean, speed at the concrete, you expect that to transition to another concrete track. You seem to happen in many different leagues. As we bounce around, seeing other drivers where the speed's at.
A couple cars up there side by side should help you a little bit, as long as they stay that way. Which again, this track does absolutely foster that.
The 38 of Norris making it tight out of the corner exit. Norris drifts up, almost gets into the wall with busting.
I wish I could go more.
They've already got to be getting bigger in your windshield.
On this battle for 4th position as they head down into turn number 1. Still
I miscalculated the brake bias.
still inching ever so closer to the
I need to go more positive.
Norris as they exit turn number 2.
Bustler trying to carry momentum that he grabbed at the end of the season. Got his win at Talladega, trying to find a way to continue pushing forward into the next round of the playoffs with 11 in points, tied with Chris Stitz, last of everyone.
You're running the same lap times as the leader.
Closer and closer of gaining extra bonus points is this one machine at no.
I got to go faster.
So we are 12.
I get it. You need track position.
Campbell starting to gap out up front. This is the best battle on track in Silver top 10. Will Bustler makes the pass complete. Cedric Hunter, Christopher Norris going to be side by side, and Norris could be in trouble of losing 3 positions in just 2 laps as he gets passed by the 1 and the 7 machine. But Ross Tatum showing that long run strength, the 21 in a great pouncing position, and another driver, our biggest mover so far of anyone on track, Ryan McCann, inside of the top 10. He's up to 8, maybe more.
Yeah, or not at all surprised to see McCann moving his way up through the field like he has. And right now, Norris going to be the one who's in trouble of losing some positions. Already lost that one to Will Bustler, which opened the door to the 7 Cedric Hunter. Now Ross Tatum all over the rear end of the 38 machinist. He's going to dive it to the bottom as we're on board with McCann as he watches that battle in front of him between Norris and Tatum as it heats up into 3 and 4. Tatum there, a little bit of contact, a little bit of a looseness there from the 21 machine as he was door to door with Norris. Now going to have to back out and reset up that attempt to the pass.
Oops.
Looked like Christopher.
Thought maybe I could pull a run there, but
outside wall was cranking it so hard to the inside up into the corner.
she didn't like that wide open throttle off exit.
Holds back Ross Tatum. But imagine Tatum is not happy with that type of squeeze.
Concrete. You gotta love it.
Now has to attempt once again entering the turn 3 and trust that there isn't going to be contact between the 38 and the 21 as they exit at the corner. Ryan McCann's loving this battle because he sees 2
They pull a slide job, open the door for you. Look at that.
forward, and with Ryan McCann about to be grabbing these extra bonus points, this will practically solidify the machine. It's an automatic lock-in to the next round with the amount of bonus points. He's grabbed this round. The 8.
38's got nothing for you on exit. No chance to cross.
Yeah, just doing everything he needs to do. Not going to have to worry about anything even if he, has a bad result post the stage, will be good on points to get in. Makes that pass on Christopher Norris look really easy. So he gets that done through 3 and 4. Now we're going to set his sights on the 21 to Ross Tatum. Those guys in front of him, Cedric Connor and Will Bussler, kind of driven away a little bit from this group. We'll have to see if they can catch back up in the next 8 laps before we get to the stage break. And they've already been able to pass the 28 and Tony Brink.
Again, leader running 60, you're running 65.
Oh, in that 28 machine, still ahead of Travis Dart, so a little bit of a fine, silver lining in that, but not as many points as he wanted to gain over that 26 machine.
And if you're doing that with dirty air, I think you're going to be faster than the field if you get some clean air on the nose.
After the stage, but instead continuing to drop back. But Travis Dart can't have issues like that. Just scrubbed out the outside wall. Slight scrapes are showing on the right side of the 26 machine. And Andrew Medlin is closing in 2/10 faster than 26 last go around. And at this rate, fast enough to
raise a spoiler a few clicks.
Bussler and Hunter are side by side.
Yeah, I think if you're Tony Brink, you're hoping that 12 of Andrew Medlin can get that pass done and knock that 26 out of getting stage points, and it looks like it might happen as Medlin continues to inch closer and closer. And again, Travis Dart flirting with that outside wall. You saw that little...
You're reeling him in?
Another little scrape on the right side of that race car from Travis Dart getting into that outside wall, exiting turn number 4.
The small little scrapes you can take, but it is an add-on every time you touch the wall.
They're up there running 77s while you're running 60.
On that armor that your vehicle has. And you're soon to be giving yourself some extensive aero damage if you continue to hit the wall, even with those small little brushes. That's been happening at last lap. The difference between 10th and 11th was 2/10. This go around will
good lap, 31.66. They're up there running 32.
Even off that outside wall, he has some great speed. And actually, that last go around, he was a 10th faster, almost a 10th faster than Medlin.
Yeah, just that little bit. Clipping that wall just that little bit can slow you down by about a 10th, and that time keeps it out of the wall. Was faster than Andrew Medlin. And Travis isn't going to give this position up easy. He knows how crucial this one stage point can be for him to make it into the next round, so he's going to do everything he can to hold off that 12 machine. But right here behind them, and this is
and faster than the leader last time.
13th, 14th, and 15th with Tyler Thomas, Trey Jackson, and Philip Chavez.
Trey Jackson getting favorite start. Not going to be giving points, driver points for the 24 machine, but will help out with the team leader points. Trey Jackson's filling in. Cameron Sarton, though, he is in a lot of trouble. We might be seeing 2 drivers bounced out of the playoffs potentially. Maybe we're seeing Will Bussell running here tonight and Chris Stitz. This could be very interesting. Of the 2 drivers that came in last in points, the way they're driving here, Trevor, I would not be surprised if they would bounce out both Travis Dart, maybe Brandon Colley, and who knows, Cameron Sarton with that 26-point bumper. It may not have been enough to hold back the rest of this field.
But it might not be enough. But I mean, you look at other drivers throughout the playoff picture. Ken Campbell looking really good to get the stage win here as he's pulled away. But I mean, still Brandon Colley, Sam, he was up to 18th. He's lost those positions all the way back down to 20th. For the 99 machine. John Dart's still in 22nd position, so it's going to, be it's going to take a miracle for those guys to get up toward the front of this field and potentially get themselves enough points to get in. And Colley, even with coming in positive, might find himself out going into the next round.
Only
definitely got him on exit side by side.
He was trying to stay in front of getting stage points at this rate. At
Door.
Fourth 15.
Still there.
Not to be giving us the white flag for the stage. Into this lap, top 10 drivers get bonus points. It's Ken Campbell.
Clear up. Good job.
Never looked back. Qualified second. And this 15 already has led more laps than what he did back in season 2. And that was
what a slide into that turn.
Make a statement that Ken Campbell is a driver to watch out for here in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Teammates really show all the strength of Christopher Norris and Zach Hall. Hall ultimately getting the win.
Stage. Good job, sir.
Speedway, stage win.
P6, up 8. Phenomenal run.
As the 15 crosses the line, we wait for 10.
All right, let me go ahead and set you up here.
That's your stage here tonight for the Impact Sim Designs 195. Trevor, certainly Ken Campbell looks down at Stitch. Showed a couple of signs that maybe can make the pass, but just...
All right, all 4. It's full of fuel. I see your brake bias.
He showed a lot of speed, which is...
All right, I'm going to go ahead and release it back. That way you can hear your spotter count you down to your pits.
As many stage points as he could. They're finishing in second.
Thank you.
Campbell. I mean, that was a dominant performance from the drop of the green flag. Got the lead.
What are we guessing here?
Yes, sir.
Cedric Hunter having a good run. Will bust.
I'm going to say
Spots from where he started up to 6th.
72.
Quite yet.
Oh, absolutely not.
No, 75.
Pit road is
Able to
now
get
open.
69.
bonus point, but that one bonus point could be enough if you're able to just get more positionings. Hope for some.
You think lower on the rear?
Wait, that first 40.
Oh yeah, your rear was lower. In that one somewhat long run that you had.
Congrats on the front stretch. Did
All right, close up on the guy in front.
These drivers went leaving green until this.
Don't give him anything.
And now it's time to see how will pit stops
Max
roll,
speed?
because we've seen
Don't
mistakes
speed?
happen in pit road. Could they conquer here once again?
Yeah, I mean, typically we talk about mistakes on green flag pit stops, but throughout the course of the season, we've seen drivers slide through their box under yellow for pit stops, and that can cost you, about a second in a couple positions. So we'll have to see if all these guys
81-71.
Good entry.
out of their box cleanly, and it starts with our leader, Ken Campbell. Will he be?
That's 69 on the right rear, though.
How about that?
Sam, the best pit stall of them all there at the very end of pit road.
He's gonna have second.
All right, that's it.
Can
Go.
get in and out. Goes
All right, clear exit.
through.
Come on out.
These are top 3 clean entries for themselves. No slip ups. No one needing to back up into their boxes. They're about to run and
Line up,
race
single
out of
file.
pit road. 4 tires and fuel for the majority of the field. No one's taking that risk of taking 2 tires in the race off of pit road.
It's the
Ken
one
Campbell, Kristen,
car.
Zach.
Everybody took 4.
Movement going on for our top 3. That's Cedric Hunter 4th. Will Bustler 5th. Ryan McCann 6th. Not a lot of movement or fall off, except for 9th and 10th places. Travis Stark, Tony Brett do swap positions between themselves.
Yeah, and that's going to be key there for Travis. Dart needs to keep that 28 machine behind him or relatively close. I think with the stage points, I think Tony gains about 1 point on the 26 machine, so I think it's going to have to be 4
Let's see, 14.3 pit time.
potentially to lock himself in. So that's going to be a battle.
You had the fastest pit by 0.3
front doing what
over everybody in front of you.
maintain their positions.
Well, with that, our caution is
All right,
out.
man, we're going
Pit
green
stops
next
are
time.
done.
Except
Let's
All right, man.
for Zach
Line up
Hall.
on the outside
He had a
road.
47, you had a 30.
Is feeling it after those first 40 laps.
Thank you for the like, Brian.
Sam and Trevor up in the booth. You got us?
I do not have chat.
Stage
I can't see text messages.
So far, man, how are you feeling? How's this track feeling?
Unfortunately.
Feeling pretty good. I've been under the weather all week. Still,
But if you like it, I can see it.
to be honest. So it's nice to come out and everything kind of be going my way. The clean air was definitely about halfway through. It started falling back, and I think dirty air had a lot to do with
We got to go 50 laps this time, so I'm thinking saving tire.
the run. And so yeah, as long as
Yeah,
we can keep everybody plays nice, we should come away with a good finish.
And Ken, I was going to ask you. if
See,
that was
44,
your plan.
you're going to go back green. 40,
They answered that for me.
we got the lights on the pace car out, yeah. 45,
Is there anything else that you're
so you're looking at 95.
able to get away with here before the end of this race?
I just
Let me see, you said it was 870.
on to the next round. If we win, we win.
Well, good luck on that mission, Ken. We'll send you back to your team
8171.
Pace cars in.
tonight.
The pace cars
Appreciate it,
in.
boys.
Okay.
That's going to be Freaky Fast Racing driver Ken Campbell, as he's got Chris Stitz to his outside. Pace car about to pull
Green,
off
green.
pit road. No more stage racing. It's about who can get into victory lane now with over 100
Good start.
to go into the restart zone. The impact sim
Watch cold tires.
95 is back underway. The outside lane gets caught sleeping as Zach Paul and Ken
All clear,
Campbell
all clear.
are already roaring down into turn number 1.
The great thing about having your teammate in front of you, you can count down the restarts, and those two from Freaky Fast
Yeah,
Racing
one
timed it
inside.
perfect.
38 low.
That's the Cedric
Come on,
Hunter.
Cedric. I
Left
picked you.
rear.
7 of Cedric Hunter going to try to go to the outside.
Door.
That's going to be the battle
Stay
for
high.
third.
Yeah, there we go.
Car on the low
It's trying to
side.
come back at him.
Let's get this pool.
There's only one position. Looks like he's
Stay
going to
high.
do so down into 3 and 4. It's going to be now Will Bustler side by side with the 7. Brian McCann and 8's going to be side by side.
38 still there. 7's definitely slowing you down.
This is not what tire saving,
Campbell in the lead position. He's got a rear gunner of Zach Paul, who's in
not tire saving at all right now.
put pressure on his
Still
teammate.
there.
He just has to defend and allow that 15.
Oh, he about hit him,
I
didn't he?
get it.
As other drivers continue to stay side by side, Will Hustler, as well as
Pretty sure he hit him.
one
Still
of the
there.
second
Hold
state side.
21 there.
Clear low,
30.
clear low.
I'm stuck.
Trend as they finally single file out. It's Norris,
Stay high.
McCann, or
Yep.
The car
6th
in
place.
21 inside, clear behind the 21, clear low.
Hustler with a quick slip up. Norris down positioning to move up to fifth.
I just got out. I want a tire save. That's going to kill the long run.
It's going to check out. the 8 of Mechanics is going to have to give up that spot to the 21 of Ross Tatum as well. Right behind them, it's Tony Brent.
Yeah, this is so much easier on that right front.
Back started with Andrew Medley kind of watching that as that from about 6th on.
I'm just going to be forced to ride behind them.
Position, Sam, all kind of side by side, stacked up on top of one.
Aggressive driving up front as Chris Ditz doesn't want Zach Hall to just get all the space that he can. Instead, it'll be side by side for second place and throughout the field. Drivers recognize these first 4 to 5 laps so crucial on these tires. Make your advances as quickly as possible, then go into save mode. Tech for the long run. As Stitz, it moves, makes the path for second place. He'll have Zach Hall doing a little bit of a clock crossover move as this.
Ken Campbell starting to check out. He's a second ahead over P2 right now.
But he continues on with his trend.
Second and third, side by side.
Into the clutches of other drivers behind him.
Yeah, does not have it. Looks like the fire off speed as everybody around him going to give that spot up to the 26. There, Travis Darton now side by side with the 12 of Andrew Medley. He's got his teammate behind him in the 83 of Noah Carter. So maybe Carter cuts him a little bit of a break, but that 28 again, Sam just going backwards here in the early part of this race. And it wasn't like he had a long speed run there at the stage break to really move back forward. So this is kind of detrimental for this 28 machine.
He showed that the long run, really the pace is not there. You need to make early passes immediate and then go into save mode. Cannot afford to just give up positions.
This is not optimal.
And that's what the 28 is feeling now. It's the regret of maybe if I try to fight for the top 5 position, in a better position
Yeah, one outside.
to move on points wise. Now he's going to
All clear.
for every spot. As Tony Brent's back in 11th place. Stitz is now moved up to second, but Ken Campbell, because of the victory and fighting, is going on for second position. Ken Campbell has a half a second gap lead, no pressure as Zach Hall now seeing his teammate in other league, Cedric Hunter, with the pressure.
26 thought about throwing it low, just could not get the bite through the center.
Spoiler didn't make it into the playoffs, but out here trying to get the wins and maybe, you know, just set himself up for next season as a 7, applying pressure all over here in the 32. Zach Hall had a great battle.
All single file in front of you.
Toward the end of the stage, a great little battle to start off with run.
It's real hard to pass on even tires.
Yeah.
The third position away from the 32 machines that head through 3 and 4, just going to be nose to tail.
Yeah, Cedric Hunter, driver that was did a lot of start.
Okay, so it seems like the restart is really where you got to try to press to gain what you can and then maintain and let those that push harder in front of you reel them back in.
Drivers be feared compared to full set racing series as season 5 has had a total of 9 different winners. Cedric Hunter wants to put himself as the 10th. He can move forward and make some of these aggressive passes, but Zach Hall, clean exit off the corner, just one bad mistake. You can see how big of a gap you can build up. Nashville Superspeedway really hurting drivers on any mistake you make.
Yeah, any little mistake kills you.
It's starting to run down Campbell.
Cedric Hunter just got a little loose there. On corner entry through 1 and 2, trying to follow Zach Hall, wasn't able to keep the power down that he needed to out of the corner and lost all that track position. They're going to fall back into the clutches of the 1 of Will Bustler, and those two have been pretty much inseparable as they've worked their way up through the field and battle with one another. So we'll have to see if that battle is going to continue. Christopher Norris just kind of following in suit. Ross Tatum there as well. And then Brian McCann latching onto the back of this train. And this is a battle from about 3rd all the way back to 10th, or that of 9th, is Travis Dark going to fill up the end of this train.
This is kind of that waiting zone. When can you start to make passes in the transition of saving to aggressive? And as we're in this waiting zone for these drivers, it gives us time to shout out some of the amazing sponsors that help out the Full Send Racing Series. Starting things off with Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing. Instead of just hearing the sounds, why not feel the sounds? Attach your game to your racing rig or into your chair and allow you to feel the vibrations instead of just hearing them. And a person closer into the action is Butt Kicker.
What if this track is modeled just like Phoenix?
Instead of racing rig, well, where you want to go to get your racing rig?
Because I suck there too.
Racing. Elevate your racing today. Instead of just sitting in your normal chair and seeing your pedals.
You do not.
Rig. Be feeling like you're in a race car with next level racing. From more expensive to budgeted racing rigs, they've got you covered at Next Level Racing. Sim Studios. Go get your button box at Etsy. Some drivers prefer to have a button box so they can press and switch and make adjustments on the fly. That's where Sim Studios can help you out. Or if you're a race athlete,
Track position is king though.
also having a button.
Right now, ain't nothing I can do.
You're out of yellow.
Yeah, it really is.
Help you beat.
I think everybody else kind of realizes that too, and just single file.
purchase your box today.
There we go.
Now, he's one of the hosts
Caution's out.
on the Throttle Podcast. Well, Coach,
Strap me some tires on.
today on all of your podcast selections, as well as check them out on social media.
And four.
Yellow flag is out. Trouble in the middle of the race, and it's Alex Jones in the 45.
We're going with freshies.
Not sure what happened to Alex Jones there, but our first caution on track, caution of the race, Sam, and this could be.
See, we were turning 31-1s.
You come down and take pit.
They won't help that much, will they?
I mean, you see
Well, if track position is king,
machine.
let me think about this.
See if we can get a replay and see what happened for him, but it could be potential for some pit strategy here, Sam. Some things for some drivers.
Looks to be issues between the 45 and the 101 of Philip Schaub.
I don't know. Let's see what the top 8. If a lot of people go in,
Turn number 4.
if everybody in front of me goes in, I'll go in.
For both of those drivers.
If it looks like it's mixed,
Just aggressive driving.
Okay, check up.
101. This is the aftermath after the contact was made.
if it's mixed, I'm going to stay out.
Alex Jones seeing the rest of the field blast on by, and the yellow flag was thrown, but
Okay.
it was off the exit of the
Nobody goes in.
rushing a little bit high.
Well, you are ready to,
Quick instant.
depending on what you do.
They solved it for me.
Everybody's going.
Squeezing off the exit of the corners, always tough at every oval we go to.
There you go.
But especially here at Nashville Speed.
Yeah, especially off of turn number 4. It's notorious for catching drivers out, and it looks like pit stop wise, Sam, everybody from the top 10 down pit road. I say that Travis Dart going to stay out in the 26 machine. He's going to assume the race lead, and I think might be the only one. Brandon Cawley also going to stay out, so 2 drivers electing to stay out, and that's an interesting call.
Very gutsy, especially on the fact that we only ran about that 13 green flags.
Could have took 2 there.
Those tires were
Should have took 2
All
there.
right,
pretty
that's it.
greatly.
Go.
You're running about 2 to 3 tenths slower than drivers that are about to be getting some fresh rubber.
I thought about asking you that, but you're kind of contemplating on what you're going to do.
Only be 2 drivers. That's going to be
Line up,
tough.
single
But this
file.
also gives an option.
Yeah.
That are pitting now.
All right, so
Take 2 tires if you're looking for some track position gains.
I got moved
the
back.
top two stayed out.
Top 2 stayed out, and then some people took 2, I think, because I'm 11.
That's Jay Becker, who's going to be coming out in 9th place currently.
Yeah.
Only maybe would have thought maybe 2 tires.
And
10 machine.
it's kind of strange because back to your pit time right there was a 14:95, right?
One to Cedric.
But everybody else ran 14s as well, just lower 14s, like a 14:48, 47:36. I'm sorry, 38, 58, and whatnot. So
I'm just so
doesn't make any sense.
trying to get track position. We get another quick yellow, enables them to keep that
Even though they only got 2,
pit road, get some fresh
they
rubber.
still had a 14 plus second pit stop.
All right, man.
But it's
line up on
really
the
tough.
inside row.
If
Is that
you start,
the time it takes for the pit crew to complete, or is that calculating my getting into the box
on
inning?
this initial push,
That's just the pit crew itself.
now you're setting yourself in a
I guess I don't pay 'em well enough.
Race goes green, and you don't
Got to get him some more Oreos.
within 10 laps.
Yeah, you're going to be in a rough spot. I think that 10-lap window is going to be about where they're looking for there to be a caution to come down pit road and make this strategy work out for them. But we're going to have to wait and see.
Let's see, total time.
Gonna have the chance to get out there in front, but I think it's going to be hard for him to hold off Ken Campbell, Zach Hall, and those guys behind him. I mean, look, it's going to be about a 15-lap tire difference between those guys, and we'll have to see what that speed difference is going to be once we get back under the green.
Thank you so much to everyone that's been watching with us. If you're just joining us now, you missed all the action before. Well, Ken Campbell found himself qualifying in 2nd place, got the led the most laps so far here tonight. He's now back in 3rd place after having to come to pit road. Our top 2 not
Get
in
ready.
pit road. We had 2 cautions. First one was our stage break, where Ken Campbell won that stage. And this is our 2nd caution,
cars
first
in.
on-track
All right,
incident.
man.
All right, here we go.
8 cars
We'll
in.
see if these cautions start to breed here tonight, as this is the
You got the bottom side.
Around to 12.
Green flag,
Going.
green flag.
Elite 8 and continues their fight for a championship. Let's find out as we ride on board 15
Yeah, one outside.
for the Impact Sim
Clear
Design.
high.
Outside's
Clear high.
not clear.
Restart
Now it's clear.
zone, as we are back to green flag action. The inside lane gets a much better launch as Travis Hart takes off immediately. Collie doesn't get the launch that he was hoping for, and instead it's the fresh rubber to the inside. The 99 goes backwards.
Got
It's
one
Campbell
outside.
trying to close in the gap. Travis Dart off the exit
Still
2.
there.
I know for sure the guy to your outside took 2. and you're blown right by him.
B-side.
So I don't think that was the right move.
Going up to maybe block the 99.
And I have a feeling the blue car right in front of you also just took 2, because as you can see, they're blown right by him too.
From his team, 15 there, Ken Campbell. Everybody's still stacked up on top of one another. A little bit of a wiggle from the one of Will Bustle further back. He hangs on to it, but this battle.
Damn.
Holly doing everything
Loose.
on that outside line, trying to hold off the 15 of Ken Campbell, Travis Dart.
A little loose.
Corner and keep the 15 behind.
Who was the other driver that took 2?
The car that you just passed, Trey Jackson.
Really needed to force that 26
Simple.
low, wasn't able to do so, and instead, old tire in the outside lane up there still.
They racing up here. I'm afraid of a wreck right now.
Need a car
I'm watching.
here in the next 4 to 5 laps to have a chance.
They're 3 wide right now for P5.
About getting some tires and have that advantage to work over the rest of the field. So we're going to be almost 3 wide entering turn number 1. Zach Paul now going to be in a position to try to move forward, but instead forcing the issue through the middle lane.
I'm in Dodge wreck
Double
mode.
file from second all the way back.
The advantage as other drivers have some trouble further in the field. Jay Beckford, one of the drivers that didn't take tires in this pit stop, he falls back deep in the field, but up front, keep our eyes out on Travis Dart. With that said, that of Brandon Colley.
Well, I ain't going nowhere, so I'm saving tire.
With these older tires, and Trevor, I gotta say, they're doing an excellent job right now, but Dart is in a
I don't blame you.
serious spot with the way he's blocking, defending the 7 and the 17.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot. The 17 of Chris Stitt's already showing he's going to be aggressive. With 3 wide with Brandon Colley in the 7. Oh, Cedric Hunter doesn't want to lose a lot of time.
So now we know 2 tires does not work.
But right now, looking for any way to get by that 26 of Travis Dart. Almost went 3 wide there with Christopher Norris. And again,
Keep it low, keep it low, keep it low. Go, wow. Great save by the 12. Wow.
Chris Stitt
You're probably
Was he
able to read his
sideways?
door number completely sideways.
I thought he was.
continues. Oh no, contact though. Colley and Andrew Medlin.
I couldn't look at it though. I'd wreck myself if I looked.
The outside wall.
Amazing save.
Japes it straight and we stay green.
What a save from Andrew Medlin. I mean, I think the Formula Drift circuit would have been proud of that with the drifting that he did through 1 and 2. Did a great job catching that car. I think might have brushed the wall just a little bit on the exit of turn number 2, but that 12 machine with a heck of a save. And Brandon Colley letting off the gas, letting him collect it. But I mean, that could have been a big moment through this middle of 1 and 2.
It was just one bad tap that got the 12 out of shape, but continues to rage.
Clear up.
Keeping this race clean and green. But for Colley and Dart, that was the caution they needed to get themselves back in the picture here of these field of drivers that have already
B7?
2 of
That shaved some off my right rear.
even in pit road as we're inching closer and closer to the halfway zone. I mean, Trevor, that was probably the biggest scare they could have asked for, but because of that slot they keep together, that really split up this field and giving space means that we could be going into a long green flag run.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of spaced everybody out. You can see here Medlin doing battle all the way back here, and I believe what is going to be that looks like 15th position with Jonathan Burton, the 6th, Tyler Thomas in the 11th, but they've lost a little bit of time to the 5 of John Dart, the 14 of Philip, or the 101 of Philip Chavez, and 14. So I mean, it spreads the field out a little bit, but still, you know, it takes, Sam, we saw one bad bump from the 99, almost turning the 12. That's all it's going to take from these cars. So from
Best lap of the session for you, 30.68.
Knows what we're going to see. As Travis Dart continues to
The leader ran a 30.84.
Have some scares further up in the field as an outside wall in the entry turn 1 almost gave contact as Chris Stitz moving up to 6th position.
Second through 6 is all nose to tail. Nobody's breaking away just yet. Ken Campbell's got 8 tenths on P2.
Inside lane, he's got the 17 putting the pressure, but you can feel that clock sort of feeling off the exit of the corner. That outside wall just sneaks up on you every time.
You are there, Brian.
Yeah, sticks out just a little bit. That safer barrier on corner exit really catches you off guard if you're not careful. Stitz sliding up in front of the 21 there on corner exit at turn number 2. Going to get that spot away from Ross Tatum. He moved Stitz up to 5th, Tatum back to 6th. The 8 of Brian McCann just sitting there lurking, watching, waiting to see what he needs to do. Stitz trying to be aggressive and get back up to that 2nd position where he was before that caution came out.
I got field some drivers scattering around at
76 to go.
up front. They're in main positions. Those are older tires. They're going backwards. See Trey Jackson trying to make his way forward in 9th place with great job filling in for Cameron Sarton, but drivers on the back foot.
According to what Ken is saying, clean air looks pretty nice.
He is back to
Yeah.
position. And Andrew
That's what I'm saying. You've been decently fast all night, and you've had to deal with dirty air all night. So I think if you get some clean air on the hood of that Camaro, you're going to be all right.
Thomas on the line behind him. This is crucial for Travis Dart. I mean, needed to be within about 4 or 5 positions of the 28 and Tony Brent up to 10th, Travis down to 13th. I mean, Sam could lose 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, could be all the way down to 17th position by the time this is all said and done on those old tires.
And with all that time lost, I was more concerned about Brent and John Dart, but for Travis, he is in a tough spot because Will Bustler as well as Chris Stitz, they are inside the top 10. They got some good bonus points for both of them at the stage grid. They just need to make sure they're within about 7 positions or more of seeing the 26 as well as the 99. And they can find themselves pointing their way forward. And if we see the likes of that of Stitz, Will Bustler, stay within the top 8 or 7, they also be trying to bump out that of Cameron Sard out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, this playoff picture is just, I think it'll be this clear and muddy water throughout the course of the night. We don't know who's going to be where, but you're just picking kind of choose where we think drivers might be, but it's going to come down to, you say Chris Stitz, Will Bustler, they're having great runs for themselves. Travis Dart, Brandon Colley, they're struggling. Tony Brent, she's kind of been...
One one's going to make a hole, try to follow them through.
Who knows what's going to happen there, and who knows what's going to happen by the end of this race, where we're going to be on points.
Well, we're going to have to see how this race continues on as we cross the line for Ken Campbell, Archie the halfway zone. We see from race control, big shout out to Steve Benjamin. He's already racing.
You are there.
Season long here at Full Set Racing Series as well on Wednesday nights with S5R Roast Gen Series, who had their conclusion a few weeks back of seeing their champion, Benjamin Nelson,
we're halfway to the finish.
championship. But for us here at Freak South Broadcasting, we need a quick break. That action was hot and heavy, but we still have plenty more action to give you on later on here tonight.
Leader ran at 20, you ran at 24.
12, Impact Design 195. Who moves on? The Elite 8. Find out when we come back.
You are clear up.
Break.
You ran an 09, leader ran a 31.17. 10th faster than the leader. Tatum says he's got to go too.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible.
Both you and Tatum are still in the teens. Everybody in front of you is in the twos.
Computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The leader just did a 31.286.
I think Ken was pushing, now he's starting to come back. not going to be long before Tatum gets to the back end of Stitz and then to his left side.
He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on. Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in?
He's got it here this time, maybe.
Well, he's going to make the move to the outside. Quick thrust and force it a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to
Way to follow him through.
is trying everything.
Good job.
Kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Stitch on the bottom. Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the fire.
Clear up.
Deep hang doors, but keep it clean.
As that's still 4 wide on the run down at the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
No back into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And through the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Aphrodite is ahead. It's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. My name is Sam Dyer. With me on the booth is Trevor Earhart, as these drivers have had 2 cautions. One caution was stage break at the end of lap 40. The other was an on-track incident that was between Philip Chavez and Alex Jones. Jones is pulling into the back, so we're left with 23 drivers out there on track. Tonight is the last race of the round of 12 to figure out who's moving on to the Elite 8. We were trying to calculate the numbers, the situations of how the track's being placed, and it's such a free-flowing situation. We could be seeing 3 drivers that were inside of our top 8 here tonight be bounced out potentially if the points and positionings line up by the end of the night. But like we said, it's free-flowing. That anything could happen here this evening to figure out who moves on to the next round of the playoffs. It's the Impact Sim Designs 195. Trevor, certainly it's been an interesting race, but there's been one constant: Ken Campbell up front leading.
Yeah, I mean, Campbell's, ever since he dropped the green flag, got that lead position, hasn't looked back from it. He's got his teammate as a rear gunner for him in the 32.
How far back was Brandon when he pitted? What position?
He's already locked into the next round with his win last week at the Roval.
When Brandon pitted?
99. Brandon Colley.
7.
Let's see.
There you got Ross Tatum, Brian McCann. They're working their way through the field. Chris Stitz falling off. Will Bustler's lurking back there. I mean, who knows what could happen as we start to wind down this race.
And under our last caution that happened 28 laps ago, there were 2 drivers who decided not to come into pit road. 4 tires or of Travis Dart and Brandon Colley decided to go with track position. Well, under this last lap, Brandon Colley hits pit road. John Dart has just hit pit road. We were talking about maybe lap 100 would be that final zone that we would come to pit road and make pit stops.
18th.
Looks like it's Goatsat for the 5 and the 99.
Hey, why not flip it up for Brandon Colley? I mean, he's been back there in about 18th to 22nd all race long. Went with that strategy of staying out along with the 26 Travis Dart, didn't work.
And now, after that pit, he's 1 lap down.
And trying to flip this race around for you, see what happens. For the 5 of John Dart, was trying to make a recovery run after he went through the infield grass earlier on in this race, was doing well. But again, why not take the shot in the dark? Both drivers, or for Brandon Colley, was 7 points to the good. John Dart on the outside looking in. We'll have to see how it's going to work out for him.
That's our front 3. Not a lot of action going on there. 4th and 5th, also keeping it neat and tidy. The battling that's inside our top 10, though, is for 6th place. Christopher Norris, Will Bustler, Chris Stitz, Trey.
Check my stuff, get it ready.
Yes, sir. Going on a show right.
Thank you.
Yep. 3 laps into this run for the drivers up front, dealing with lots of different situations and scenarios. These full tires really were helping with the loose conditions. As the run progresses forward, it's a lot of tightness. Drivers up the edge of the corner, trying to make sure they don't get into one another.
There you go.
That outside
2 sets. You'll have 1 when it's over. All right, you are set.
So trying to gas it up, not able to complete this pass.
Please step back so you'll be able to hear your spotter.
Hard to stay in the throttle on the corner exit sometimes if you get too tight right there. The 38 of Christopher Norris pushes.
Remember to reset or set your.
That might help him get this position done, Chris.
Your what you call it back.
Here through the field is.
And try to be aggressive as you can getting on the pit road. This could be what determines what kind of time you get, your gain.
And now just having to sit back and watch this battle unfold in front of him between Christopher Norris and Will Bustler.
As well as
break bys, there we go.
The apron of
Can't think of those damn words.
As the line is not deterring some drivers from going down there, but Will Bustler with better entry and center off of turns 1 and 2. Around the inside lane to make this pass. Instead, feels like it's coming from position. Inside lane is where you want to be. Make this move work, but it's hold on.
Still running the same lap times as the leader. Zach Hall starting to run down Ken Campbell. He's literally just 2.5, almost 3 tenths behind. Zach Hall's now 7 tenths.
Inch to either one. Now they've flipped.
Yeah, everybody's starting to kind of run down Ken, but I don't know if it's due to race management or if he's actually used up his stuff.
I've used my stuff up.
Yeah, no doubt.
You're watching, and for the 28 Tony Britton, he's trying to close in on this battle as these 4 cars continue this hard racing through 3 and 4 as again. Bustler on that inside line. Norris a little bit of contact with the wall. Bustler a little bit of contact, and there goes Bustler through the grass.
Through the grass, it looked to be quote-unquote wind contact that sends the one down in the grass for himself, but holds on, drifts a little on the entry. Will Bustler able to just lose a handful of position with such an odd positioning between those drivers, but that's
30.6.
When you're side by side for multiple laps.
One full
the wind likes to
second.
A little bit of a strong gust of crosswind there between 38 and 1.
Yep. And leader ran a 31.69. You ran a 68. So again, you are right there.
And that's all it takes. A little bit of contact off the wall, a little bit of wind assistance, and you go through the grass. But for Bustler, great job of hanging on to that. Only loses 2 actual positions as he falls behind the 24 of Trey Jackson. So now can regroup and try to get back in and see if he can go up there and battle the 38 once again.
Settle the group, try to attack Christopher Norris. Instead, at the battle between one another. Trey Jackson doing a great job. Ends up filling in with Cameron Sargent for this work.
Should I pit here? Pit early?
You'll be at 50 to go next time by.
Cameron Sargent had a 26-point buffer over Tony Brent and only a 28-point buffer over John Darkman in tonight's race. He is hoping and banking on those drivers outside looking in not to have great runs.
Track position though. Caution comes out, gets a set of tires. Think about it.
And Will Bustler inside of the top 10 exactly where they need to be.
Yeah.
As we see other drivers.
It'll be interesting to see just how much faster you are. The only thing is they're running your best lap. All right, 30. What did I say earlier? 30.68. Leader's best laps are 30.64. You just ran a 31.64, so you're only losing a second on these old laps.
The 99 of Brandon.
So
hasn't been able to get back up into the top 10.
Oh, good job. Way to be aggressive.
Carter battling with the 1-on-1 of Philip Chavez was able to get around the 6th of Jonathan Burt, but having a quiet run.
You're only losing a second on the long run.
Great save that he had. We'll have to see with maybe some pit strategy if he can get back up there. But one of our leaders, Sam, already down pit road as Brian McCann hits the pit road.
Right here.
Brian McCann recognizing it's time to hit pit stop. Andrew Medlin as well with the aggressive entry. And this
Good job.
around that window. We were trying to predict if it was going to be lap 100, maybe 105.
Medlin came with you.
Earlier than a lap 100 to make their final pit stop of the evening. C8 enters his box. Clean stop.
Aggressive off. Don't speed.
Saying they're hitting pit road as well. It's time for this racing action to get very frisky. Who can survive this pit stop cycle?
Don't need a penalty. Trey Jackson in the 24 down pit road. When will our leaders come down pit road? This is going to help the 8 of Brian McCain. He's going to be a little bit quicker for the last couple laps. More contact between the 38 of Norris and the 1 of Will Bustler. Bustler hard into the inside wall on pit exit.
Oh, you got a couple cars up high.
Looked to be unpredictability.
You're clear.
Thought was clear was the 38. Instead gets into Will Bustler, who is on the off-axis row. That's where he finally was able to come to a complete halt. And this one is going to be frustrated. Has to come into pit road still, and has lost so much ground. And Trevor, I mean, it just looked to be a lack of awareness on those drivers making contact on the entry of the corner.
Yeah, I mean, that looked exactly like it was. I thought Bustler went all the way to the inside of the pit road and smashed into it, but thankfully able to get it straight for that. Now we're going to bring that one machine down pit road for his final pit stop. And you just kind of see the frustration in him as he gets the thing low down for pit road. But again, just contact between two playoff drivers.
Let her eat. Just keep it under you.
Just looked like some lack of spatial awareness from the 38 of Christopher Norris.
The one, Will Bustler is just going to have to go into salvage mode and bank on a yellow, but this is what the incident was. See it across the line. 38, though, thinks he's completely clear. Comes down, trying to get underneath Chris Stitz for a
Even fighting that car, you just ran the fastest lap of the session so far. 30.67.
One machine, and that is just a heartbreaking moment as we take an aerial shot of this incident that could be what takes Will
Campbell and Hall have not yet come on down pit road.
Championship and not able to move on to the round of 8.
I mean, it's just an uncharacteristic mistake from Christopher Norris. I mean, that's something we would have seen from season 1 Norris back when he started in other leagues, but with the growth that he's had, it's just an uncharacteristic mistake to see from him. You see the one over Bustler pull off pit road, but for the 38, I mean, you got to feel bad, but you got to get that out of your head and try to just go out and run your race. For Will Bustler, it's going to be all about recovery for that one to see what he can do to potentially point his way into the next round.
I like what you said.
Hey, Derek.
That's something Christopher Norris.
I don't have chat tonight, so I can't hear what you type.
This mistake kind of lingers with him. Shoot, I didn't mean to make that. It may cause him to make more mistakes moving forward.
Good job.
Hitting his markers. Got to find those mistakes and clear them.
Gonna have the position here.
Coming up the 40 laps.
There you go. Clear up.
5 at this current time. We've seen the back of the lead. It's Ken Campbell's.
Campbell and Hall are still on track.
He could finish second and still move on to the next round of playoffs. But how are the teammates going to play? Will Zach Hall want to grab another win for the 32 machine and grab those extra bonus points? Or will they play nice as third place runner? Cedric Hunter pulls into pit road for the 7 machines. Still waiting for majority of the field to make their pit stop. Got about 11. Still need to hit pit road.
Yeah, it looks like the 21 Ross Tanner made his pit stop, and a couple of others coming down pit road as well.
Clear low.
As well, but I mean, for these two, same. I mean, for King Campbell, he's got the max.
Fitz and Brent are on pit road.
Should be good to make it on points. Zach Hall's already locked into the next round. And for these two, we're going to race clean. We're going to race hard with one another, but there's no need to make contact. Put yourself in a bad situation. As Chris sits down pit road, Noah Carter down pit road, and a couple more come down pit road, but these two still electing to stay out for another couple of laps.
Do not want to get caught with the penalty. One driver could cop speed.
You are absolutely flying right now.
6 machine, a 40 seconds can be a race ender if you're caught speeding. It's very smooth on the entry, not very aggressive. Just wanted to make sure he hit his marks on the entry pit road.
And Campbell's on pit road. Zach Hall's taking the lead.
Penalty is teammate.
32 is going to be pitting. That's the leader. So Hall will be coming down this time.
That's not. I'm going to be interested to see where the 7 of Cedric Hunter, the 8 of Brian McCann, where they cycle out at. As McCann was the earliest of our top 10 will really come down pit road as he pit on lap 96. Ross Tatum on lap 101, a couple other drivers sprinkled in between there, so we'll have to see where they cycle out at.
Good job, man.
But this is going to get interesting, Sam, with kind of the difference in times that these guys have made their pit stops.
Zach Hall going to be entering pit road. Tyler Thomas.
I think something happened with Ken Campbell. He just fell down to P8.
Stay out for an extra lap. Tyler Thomas, think back to one of his best runs this season back at Dover. 11. To continue and staying out and maybe lucking into a caution. This is around that zone, in the middle of pit side. You got drivers on old tires, those that are on new. There's about a second with second half difference each lap.
Zach Hall just now got to his pit box.
Easy mistakes can happen in this zone. 11 is banking on a caution flag.
All right, so everybody else that's in front of you, Tyler Thomas, William Duff, and Jay Becker, they were all on pit road last on lap 58, and they're a little bit ahead of you, but they can't stay out much longer if they plan on trying to keep any kind of track position.
Really shake things up, like you said. You know, with this difference in tires, it's what it's going to take. We've already seen a little bit of lack of spatial awareness, maybe a little bit of a bad bump. Could bring out a caution, could really shake things up. For these guys that are still out there on track, and that's what they're hoping for. So Tyler Thomas, William Duff, Jay Becker, hoping for that late race caution, but you see everybody going by him. There goes Cedric Hunter on those fresher tires, blowing past the 11 there of Tyler Thomas down lap himself.
Maybe a little bit of commentator's curse coming down for Trey Jackson. Sadly gets hit with a packet loss, disconnect. Many different reasons on why he could have been disconnected, but an internet disruption as in 24, where he is no longer out on track. It's looking like a good top 10 finish for that 24 team. And going to be back in 23rd position and get to reconnect. You hate to see that for Phil and driver that's having a good run.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Trey Jackson, tough break for that team in terms of team points that they were trying to capture with him filling in for Cameron Sarton, but hopefully he can get reconnected, maybe gain a couple of spots. If some drivers have some issues in front of him, we'll have to wait and see, but still waiting. Same on our top three to make it to pit road. It looks like once they do, Brian McCann will cycle out as the race leader with John Dart in second. Actually make that Ross Tatum as he just got around the 5 machine. Brandon Colley's going to be there. Kim Campbell, Travis Dart, Zach Hall. It looks like that lead will cycle out to the 8 machine of Brian McCann.
Yeah, this great moment. It's a great job. He has been run down by Ross Tatum. He's running about 3/10 faster. That's a lot of time to be given away. Zach Hall going to be back in 10th position. Kim Campbell in 7th. Campbell's trying his best to catch up to this top crew. Talking about these drivers that are still out on track. Tyler Thomas moved up to Becker. The reason why they're going to stay out so much longer than a lot of other drivers, one, they were not the fastest laps in the race, but also this track, Nashville Speedway, the lap times, driving style, very similar to mile-and-a-half tracks. This track is actually slightly smaller than a mile-and-a-half.
You're staying pretty even, 3.6 ahead of Ross Tatum.
Long out, but they are going to have to make a pit stop. They cannot take this race to the end for our top 3. They're going to have to make that stop. That's why they're staying out. Banking on a yellow, give them this track position.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe they've got about 52, 53 laps. I'm thinking maybe 7, 8, maybe 10 more laps these guys can stay out on fuel. And hoping for that caution. We'll have to wait and see if they get it. But kudos to them for staying out as long as they have. Looks like
that car ahead of you is for position. That's Jay Becker.
3-second lead over William Duff. 14 seconds back to that of Jay Becker. 16 to McCann. So, I mean, he's holding on well. The question is going to be, is he going to get that caution?
Again, he hasn't been on pit road since like 58.
Although on the exit turn 4, John Dart, major collision and blinking issues for the 5 machine. He blinked down for about a half a course, and then it shipped the 5 into the outside wall of the exit of 4. And it might be a night done, and it is. Disconnect for the 5. John Dart's chances of moving on the Elite 8 are done. That's another position that held out some of the drivers that are needing those extra points after this race is done.
That's another driver there.
Something happened with John Dart just there. He's not moving on.
The bubble of either staying in or on the outside looking in, so we'll have to see what that's going to do. But a heartbreak for John Dart, as he was kind of on an off strategy, was one of the first cars to make their final pit stop for that 5 machine, but internet issues strike. That's one of the things about sim racing, Sam. It might not be drivers on the track; it could just be things that are out of your control that take you.
Watch this guy doesn't make any kind of an abrupt move towards pit road. Good job getting by him.
Just that random factor is kind of what the internet can be for drivers, and internet connection has a little bit of a blip. It can cost you greatly, and it does for the 5 machine. Plus now 3 drivers here tonight. We're down to just 21. And as well, we're waiting on 3 drivers to make their final stops of the night. Brian McCann's passed one of them, though.
Good save.
3rd place. And the driver that's now trying to run down Brian McCann, it's Ken Campbell in the 15. He's got by Ross Tatum and is on the charge, trying to catch up the 8 machine to be at the end of this pit cycle, be the leader of this race.
And trying to get up there and get into that lead position. You see Cedric Hunter doing battle here with the 12 of Andrew Medlin, but McCann still 13 seconds behind that of Tyler Thomas. Got around Jay Becker. King Campbell trying to run down the 8 of Brian McCann. I think he's about 3 seconds behind that 8 machine, so that's going to be an interesting battle once the 15 gets up to there, and how this all cycles out and plays out, same as these laps continue to wind down as we're about 30 laps to go here.
You're pulling away from the crowd behind. The gap is 1.6
laps sooner than Ken Campbell, and it might work out perfectly for the 8 machine to have just a big enough gap as this race continues to tick away. About 30 laps to go when Tyler Thomas crosses the line again. Yes, that's out at turn number 4. It is just the runs out. Who can catch up to Brian McCann? Ken Campbell? Could it be Zach Hall? Remember, Zach Hall did that maybe 4 laps. I mean, a lap after Ken Campbell. That was a lot of time lost for the 32 staying out that extra lap. It's all Brian McCann at this current moment in 3rd place, leading those that have already made their stop.
It just needs to kind of run away and see how much space he can gain between the 15 and the 32. Ken Campbell already got around the 10 of Jay Beckert. Zach Hall gets around the 21 of Ross Tatum. Now going to get around the 10 of Jay Beckert as they head into 1 and 2. So now nobody between Campbell, Hall, and McCann as they continue to try to chase down William Duff and Tyler.
That's Jay Becker.
And the different pitch strategies. We're seeing some drivers falling off and going down deeper and deeper in the field. Brandon Colley being one of those. Big note, Tony Brent's down at 14, Travis Dart 12. The more that they lose time around, it'd be the one of Will Bustler again, a driver that was on the come up of trying to be in a position to move on to the next round. Had positioning in the contact lead himself in 38. I think Will Bustler could be out of a chance to move on. It could be down to Brent Stitz on who's going to take these.
Are you saving?
To make it into the playoffs of round of 8 as Jay Beckert has made his way to pit road.
Have Beckert down pit road and it could
that answer.
Stick in those ones.
The only reason I'm asking, your last lap 32.28, Ken Campbell sitting P4 right now is the 31.06, so 1.2 seconds faster than you.
He can get himself a top 10 finish, and where is it going to put him in terms of what Chris Stitz has done with bonus points? You know, we noted on the one of Will Bustler.
Yeah, he's running me down hard.
Yeah.
This might play out with that early pit stop that he made, might play out with just enough for that 99 to sneak into the next round.
I think the big thing is that he's got to make sure that
when he gets to me,
maybe another position.
I want the high side or the bottom. I think the bottom side's dominant.
Yeah. As well as stage bonus points.
Yeah, this isn't like a Vegas or Chicago or something like that where you got that extra banking on the outside. But this track does again foster side-by-side racing. He'd have to really stay in the throttle and use up his right sides in order to keep with you.
Inside the top 13 positions, and he could be in a position of bouncing out Cameron Sarton from the playoffs.
He could, and he's on the fresher tires than that of Travis Dart and Brandon Colley, and even that of Andrew Medlin. So, I mean, Tony Brent could drive up there and get a couple positions. You see him here looking to the inside of the 26 of Travis Dart. Dart a little bit tight off corner exits. So that's going to be a spot for the 28 machine. Knock Travis Dart back to 13th.
Might be in my best interest to just get a caution right here. So we'll all be on equal tires.
Down right there,
yeah, and just let it rip.
Or that of 12th and 13th positions.
All right, 31.38 to his 17.
Because he's 100% going to catch me. Problem is, he's on 8-lap newer tires.
Yeah, he's on newer tires, but by now they've equaled out. So he doesn't have much of an advantage. This is like the long run that you had before where you just could not pass the 21. You could not, I mean, the people in front of you had to absolutely wear out their stuff and everybody was running the same lap times. So you've got that advantage now. You kind of need to hold on to it.
Taking Sarton's position away from the playoffs. Sarton again missing out.
Need Tyler Thomas and William Duff to come on down pit road without a caution.
You finish inside of the top 12. You get 25 bonus points for 12, 26 points for 11, 27 for 10. Those are crucial on top of the bonus points here at the stage.
There you go. You ran a 45, he ran a 42. Hundredths are not going to matter.
Plays out. We might not know who's in, who's out tonight. It might be tomorrow before we figure out who's in and who's out, just based off all the movement going on. As you see Will Bustler trying to get to the inside of the 27 of Peter Dillon as he still tries to recover from the contact with Christopher Norris. But for that of Bustler, I mean, Sam, what could have been for that one machine was up inside the top 5 at one point tonight, now all the way back in 17th position, just trying to get anything he can to salvage this night.
Yeah, for Will Bustler, if he was going to move on to the playoffs and round of 8, he was...
All right, leaders going down pit road.
Top 5, and with that contact, it just looks like it's just too far out for the one less than black lands.
The leader is hitting now.
We're still waiting on our top 2 to come into pit road. It looks like Tyler Thomas over the radio. Hitting is the
15's got the 32 coming up his tailpipe, so he might have to play a little bit of defense, which might give you a little bit of extra room here, as long as they don't stay nose to tail.
I hit the apron. That messed me up big time.
But you are now the leader.
Yeah, they've been closing in on the 8 of Brian McCann's.
That's okay. 32 just pulled to the inside of the 15.
Applying the pressure to the 15 to Ken Campbell, but both of them close.
And they are going to battle side by side.
And Campbell with a little bit of a...
And this will give me a good bird's eye view of which line may be dominant in a late run.
A lap later than Ken Campbell says, all right, got enough points. We can race this one out. Who is going to take the win here at Nashville Super Speedway? As we've got 20 laps to go, Brian McCann on 8 lap older tires. He's a sitting duck at this moment.
Run your best lines here, bud.
Closing 8.
20 to go.
Also, if they cause too much ruckus between Zach Hall and Ken Campbell, it can give Ross Tatum some time to close it on the gaps. He's only a second and a half off of our leader at this current moment.
Yeah, I mean, if these two, this is what Brian McCann wants to see. He wants to see these two doing battle. They haven't gained on McCann. They're still running a little bit quicker than him, but with these two battling side by side, this is just allowing McCann to keep that gap that he has and save a little bit of tire as these two battle it out. Zach Hall finally going to give that position back to his teammate, 15 to Ken Campbell. But this is also, like you said, brought that 21 of Ross Tatum just a little bit closer into this fight.
He's now less than a second and a half back. Is Tatum. He is really in this.
Which line won out of that contest?
It's
The 24 or the 32 checked up. He let the 15 go.
Far back, 5 seconds off of our leaders. It's past Pritchard tires, so you might be able to close in. If
They were at a stalemate side by side.
If he had enough time to run down the 8 machine, but
Where was Ken?
are too big for
And he was up high.
to make any type of crucial big movements on one another. Other great battles to watch out for.
Does Zach try to pass low?
Run down.
He tried once and then he let it go.
Is the 28.
They ran a lap and a half or 2 laps side by side. 32 checked up, let the 15 go, and he is now
The 28 half.
3/10 behind you.
Ollie was able to get around the two drivers, William Duff and Tyler Thomas, once they made their pit stop. Now trying to run down Medlin. He's got the tire advantage over Andrew Medlin. So
Now we racing.
rapidly on that 12 machine. He's got his rear gunner right behind him in Noah Carter. So Noah just kind of making sure nobody gets close to this 28 machine as Brent looking for any way around Andrew Medlin.
Oh, we wondered what clean air would feel like on the hood. You got it. 16 to go.
Each driver recognizing, hey, just make these moves work together and make the passes. It's the battle for the lead. Back to Ray John as this pass is well happening.
Nothing like a 4-wheel slide trying to outrun this guy.
It's either this
Earlier you found a line where you kind of ran the entrance. There you go.
where he's been for the majority of the night. He's led the most laps. It's been Ken Campbell. He wants the win. It's solidified tonight.
Damn, he's going to pass me.
15's going to try to cut you inside.
I was going to block him,
Left
but
rear.
he had too much.
Door.
Yeah, for tires left. I mean, almost.
I would have got spun there.
Between those two
clear,
and tires here, they come out of turn number 4. But Ken Campbell just going to dive it to the inside, try to get this passed up.
Still clear.
As he can, doesn't.
32's behind you. Does not have the run.
Will improve 1. Let's see if he can get that clear, and he is going to clear the 8 of Brian McCann. And here comes his teammate trying to look to the inside, but Zach Hall not close enough to get to the inside out of turn number 2.
Zach Hall going to be.
You can run with him, Brian.
He gets to turn 2. He'll get the run
8-lap newer tires though, tough.
in line. Ken Campbell.
They're all equaled out.
Kind of as a buffer to hold back Zach Hall for now. 15, maybe 14 laps.
I beg to differ.
Top 4 drivers all within a second of one another. As Brian
Think so?
steady and as well.
Yeah.
All right, 32's looking to the inside.
I can't do what they're doing. I'm trying it, but I can't.
He's got our top 3 running and battling off the position, but the 11's got so many tires.
Okay.
Make this pass, but he looks to be instantly nervous on trying to influence this race at the moment.
Yeah, I think for Tyler, he's just kind of waiting to see what he needs to do and does a really good job of it. He had an opportunity to go around the outside of Zach Hall and Brian McCann, realized those two were battling for the potential win, for second place. And so now just kind of falling in line, waiting for an opportunity to go by on those pressure tires, doesn't want to influence this race. So really heads up driving there from Tyler Thomas in the 11. We'll see if he takes the advantage. We're just going to stay in line there, 4th in line, as he's in front of the 21 of Ross Tatum, who hasn't really been able to close back up on this group once they were fighting.
And Thomas now has to make hard decision. Just get out of the way and let Ross Tatum go on third. It looks like that's the call. 11 stays high. He lets Ross Tatum blast on forward, and now a little bit closer to McCann and Zach Hall. For Ross Tatum, his ultimate goal is to get by the 8 machine.
Ross Tatum was on pit road lap 101, so he's only got, 5 laps fresher tires.
You want to finish out this race. We're closing.
His last lap was a 69.
Comfortable position with his teammate.
Yours is a 64.
And
So you're right there with him also.
out of our top 3.
Come on,
Plus
caution.
you got the little bit of a draft from Hall.
Time, just that 5 lap fresher tire. 21. Looking
Get these tires even, then let's race.
solidified. 11 laps to go. Campbell just trying to pull away.
That's right.
from the rest of the field.
And just trying to pull away. About a half a second gap over Zach Hall. We'll have to see if Zach.
And to go next time.
And we've seen Zach catch back up to Ken Campbell, but catching them is one thing, passing them is another. And for those two, and there's really no need to fight it out between themselves and risk wrecking each other out. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Will Austin be able to get around Brian McCann, though? That's going to be the real question. McCann looks pretty comfortable there in third place, and for Ross, just kind of trying to catch up and not really gaining any ground on these guys.
Not at all. 10 laps to go. Marked there by race control. Once again, they get to see Benjamin for running race control here for the Bullsen Racing Series and as well for Wednesday night's Star Cup Series. As it is down, Ken Campbell up front. I'm trying to figure out the map. It's so close and changed. Once again, like I said, Harris Boone on the standing between Brett, Noah Carter.
Make that 9.
Quickly on positions. But Brandon Colley, Travis Dart, and Tony Brent, as well Cameron Sark, those 4 drivers, it's a good question of who's in or out because 3 of them will move on. 1 will be knocked out. We don't know which one just yet for the way that these drivers are running. And that's not even accounting for Chris Stitz, who's also running so well up front and fifth.
Yeah, I mean, Stitz finished second in the stage, got those 9 bonus points, now having a great top 5 run for himself. Where is that going to put him in? What happens to Cameron Sarton, who wasn't able to show up? We know John Dart's not going to make it in the
Zach's birthed stuff out.
Lincoln issues. You know, what's going to happen with the guys around him that had, good runs? Tony Brent, Brandon Colley.
You're faster than him by a 10th. Get it.
And Sam, that's what makes these playoff races so interesting in these cutoff races because you don't really know what's going to happen until the end of the night.
I mean, having, the Roval last week where we saw the road course specialists really shine. Zach Paul, Brian McCann, Christopher Morris really proved themselves during that race last week. And then here the concrete monster of Nashville Super Speedway of, well, how are you going to test your skill? Outside lane, the inside lane, protect the tires, track position, woes for some. And just such a wild first round for drivers. Maybe they weren't predicting this type of a run. Man, the next round doesn't get any easier as they had to Auto Club in Bristol to figure out the 4 drivers that will run for a championship in Kansas. These playoffs, you never know what tracks you're going to get yourself into. If it's going to be traditional, a little bit odd, this first round certainly was an odd one.
Yeah, I mean, you go from the road course to a concrete, almost 1.5-mile racetrack, and then you go 2-mile racing at what is the second?
Ooh, that looked loose in.
Auto Club.
Yeah, I'm running it hard trying to get a run on them.
All the concrete, the Great Coliseum in Bristol. I mean,
ran it too hard.
Distinctly different tracks in the first 4 races of these playoffs.
5 to go next time.
Final 1.5 course.
That's right. You have 8 tenths over Tatum.
Playoffs, and certainly season 5.
I think I can get a run on Zach if I just don't mess up.
We're in podium
out here trying to get another victory. 15.
I have no doubt.
He has been up front dominant. As Chris sits in 5th place, he needed another position, maybe to get a little bit more comfortable. It's going to be very close on if 17 moves on or not, based on Travis Dart's positioning between the 26 and the 17 on track. Currently with 5 laps to go. Looking at 8.
He's got me out of 4, but I got him out of 1, I think. 2.
Out of the top 10 would be for second. Second Paul, Brian McCann, they are close to one another. Other great battles is going on between Travis Dart and Philip Chavez back for 12th position.
Yeah, those two battling out there for
he did better that time.
A little bit of a tire advantage over Travis Dart, who's just trying to hold on and try to get as good of a run as he can for Zach Hall.
Bill now 9 tenths over Tatum.
To drive away.
He had a little bit of a gap.
So that's a battle for second. That might
4 to go.
That way for the rest
Coming
of
to 3.
Up until
oh, you mean I have to go
for Travis
in a booth?
Hang on, I think in front of the
do a little bit of talking,
and might make him.
You do.
Save into the next round.
You know you love it.
He definitely does not want to give this spot up to the 101.
It's all right.
He doesn't want to do that all. I'm giving another position.
Get to talk to him before. I shouldn't talk too early. I might mess up here.
Points. Looks to be drivers are a lot more solidified on where they're at. And Ken Campbell, he had his second best finish.
Coming to 2.
Last week in the Roval, finishing at 5th. He's finished 5th 4 times this season. At the Charlotte Roval, Charlotte Oval, out of New Hampshire and Michigan. His one win for the 15 was kind of a controversial one. It happened back at Martinsville. An asterisk could put over that of the drama at the end of the race and the kind of the confusion on where drivers were supposed to be placed. But tonight, there's no asterisk. There's no question that Ken Cable's been the dominant driver of this.
White flag this time, sir.
Dominant from the drop of the green flag. Nobody's really had anything for him. We saw Chris Stitz take a couple shots at him. Zach Hall took a couple shots at him, but he's been able to hold off all the challenges, even like he said at the stage break, feeling a little bit underneath the weather, was able to hold off And coming to the white flag, Sam, one more time around for this 15 machine as he looks to cap off this dominant performance with a win.
It's the next level racing. White flag for Ken Campbell. And for the rest of the field, who moves on after tonight? This was the last race of the round.
Started, what, 14th or something? Got podium anyway?
Last week.
Great P3 finish. Good run, Brian.
I'll take it. Thank you.
As Ken Campbell through 3 and 4. He'll take race 2 of the round at 12. Pushing his ticket.
Oh yeah, up 11 spots.
To the next round.
You tied for biggest mover with Brandon Colley.
Here for the Impact Sim Designs, 195.
Don't have to put an asterisk next to it. I mean, dominant performance from the word go tonight. His teammate Zach Hall with another great.
Oh, my back hurts.
Winning last week, comes home second. Brian McCann doing everything he needs.
They told me these chairs were comfortable.
Just to point his way in, gets a great third place finish for himself. Chris Stitz, Sam, I mean, did everything that 17 could do. Gets a good top 5 finish. We'll have to see where that's going to put him in the points. Brandon Colley comes home 11th. So these point standings for who gets into the next round going to be really interesting.
Looking good for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm going to actually go ahead and take a look at the schedule.
Fine, but never looked back. As the 15
off next
gets
week
to enjoy it, burning it down tonight for the Impact Sim Designs 195 at Nashville Super Speedway. The round of 12 is done. Who moves on to the next round? We'll have to wait for confirmation because the points are just that close. But before we end tonight officially, we're going to step away. When we come back, it's the post-race show. We'll talk to our top 3, see how they're feeling heading into Auto Club into that of 2 weeks.
Yep, you got Auto Club, Bristol, and then the championship at Kansas.
Interesting.
I agree. Yep, November 28th, December 5th, and December 12th. Not too shabby.
Well, as always, I thank you for all the good info and support you gave me, and repeat 1975. Hopefully I don't forget it this time.
Not a problem, man. Yeah, I will, I'll catch up with you, bud. Good luck.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yep.
Do they do third place? No, they do the leader or winner first. What position did I come in on? So I was 5th, so I gained 2 positions by undercutting.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Full Send Racing Series. It's the Season 5 playoffs here tonight, finishing off the rounds of 12 to see who moves on to the round of 8. Well, before we're still waiting on official confirmation. Don't know if we're going to be getting that tonight, or we'll give you that information going in 2 weeks at Auto Club for the next round. But we do have interviews for tonight's race. We have our top 3 to talk to them. Let's head down to victory lane. We already talked to this driver at the end of the stage winner, now race winner, Ken Campbell.
Stage and race.
We talked about it when we were coming to the end of this race. Martinsville was your first win. Kind of an asterisk around it with the way that the ending of that race went. Well, you don't need it for this one. Utter dominance by yourself. Man, how are you feeling after this one?
Pretty good. Been waiting a long time for a race to come together like it did there, and just happy that it was a nice clean race. Couldn't have asked for anything better from any of the drivers, and just kind of relieved to have one go that well. Know that it can happen, and get ready for the next one.
Yeah, I mean, Ken, we were touching on it in the broadcast. Didn't kind of have the asterisks on this one like you did back at Martinsville, but you get the win. You lock yourself into the next round. You get Auto Club in Bristol after a week off for Thanksgiving. I mean, how are you feeling about those next two races to potentially get yourself into the Final Four?
Auto Club would be my shot. If I'm going to win a race, it's going to be Auto Club. Usually run really well there, and Michigan's sister track. Bristol.
He says he's going to win Auto Club
anyway, and I mean it's just such a wild card. You can basically call it like a mini Dega going into the cutoff because so many things can happen there. And definitely looking more forward to Auto Club, but gonna have to prepare for Bristol as well.
Well, Ken, for tonight's race, we saw a couple of drivers putting some chances and some challenging moments. A majority of it was you up front. What was it like, though, running with Zach Hall there late on if he was going to challenge you or if you guys were just going to play nice between one another?
So we actually, it was dead silent in the Discord, so there was no team communication going on there at that point. I think I heard somebody breathing, and I don't know if it was me or him or somebody else, but yeah, so I saw him coming. He wanted to pit a lap earlier, but his mic was unplugged, and so that he was going to undercut me, but that kind of gave me a way to come down and undercut him because he couldn't announce his pit. So I came down first, and then he came, and he gave me a little bit of advantage, and I saw him coming and knew he had one lap fresher tires and knew he was going to race me super clean, though. I wanted to put him on the inside, which I did, and then I held the line much better than I thought I would. I knew defending on the outside was the play there, but it just worked a lot better than I thought it would. And we were just losing time to the 21 behind us and not really gaining on Brian there. And so he just backed out of it there, and I figured he was just going to let me get by McCann, him get by, and then come back to it. And he said he burned his stuff up and just didn't really have anything to come back there for the end. So I wish he hadn't. It would have been a really good battle, I think.
It certainly was a fun one for us to watch from the outside point of view, but utterly, you got the win, Ken. You punch your ticket to the next round. Congratulations. And before we officially let you go, the floor is now yours for any shout-outs.
Well, as always, first and foremost, thanks to my wife and kids, Logan, Jet, and Easton. Logan's a little sick. I happened to give him COVID, so hope he's getting to feel better. My mom, sister, and nephew, they're all watching. Mom, hope you're getting better. You've got COVID as well. We do things as a family, as you can see.
So this is his second
racing. Zach for being up there, racing me super clean.
Thought he had another one.
Norris. I think Norris had a good finish as well. Everybody back at the shop at Storm Motorsports. Wade, we finally saw him in the session. Doesn't look like he got out on track for the race, but there is a Wade out there, and I hope he finds his way home back out on track. Cole at Wanna Go Graphics for making sure I look good while I'm out on track. So go see him if you want to look as good as I do. Everybody here at the league at Full Send, the admins do a fantastic job, and you guys up in the booth.
Well, thank you very much. That is going to be Ken Campbell coming out with the win, kind of like a fluke race for himself, getting himself locked into the next round. Good luck in the round of 8, Ken. Rest up, and good luck in 2 weeks.
Thanks, guys. Good race, bro.
That is going to be a race winner of Ken Campbell. We hope that he gets
good race, man.
As we will now move down.
Gonna say it was like a late Halloween, me running out front like you usually do.
For this one, we have Zach Hall with us.
Oh man, you killed it. I tried to undercut you on the pits, but I think it was like an 8-lap difference.
Yeah, well, I was surprised you were holding on as well with the 8 because I saw it. I was just kind of taking it one by one, and then I was like, all right. And I looked up and I knew there was like 3 that had to pit, and you were the only one that didn't. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna catch him. And then it just kind of stalled out there for a little bit, and I was like, oh no, they've evened out.
I felt like the win was
That's what I was hoping for, but
I felt pretty strong there in that.
Yeah, man, good run. You played it perfect.
Capitalize on the pit strategy. I
appreciate it, man.
I didn't have my button bound for talking in sim, so I couldn't see the over the chat and tell everybody.
You had a bad quali, right? Isn't that what happened to you?
Yeah, like 14th, I think.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, I was wondering what was going to happen when you were back there. So I was hearing about the air and everything, and so I definitely think undercutting was the way for you. Because I mean, hell, you're out front. We all had a set of tires left. If there's a caution, you come in and control the race. So
that's what I was banking on as well. Just crossing my fingers, never happened.
Yeah, going into the next two.
Yeah, whenever you want one that didn't come out, you know.
How you were feeling, knowing you were locked in, but I mean,
it's all good.
Tonight you get the second.
Yeah, I mean, hell, you just had to come into the session and you're locked into the final four essentially. So
your goal. Going out
yeah, it'd be a little bit more difficult after this though.
Put in for those two races.
Well, you still get all your playoff points back though.
Bonus
right?
Points, yeah, but
yeah.
More than I did this week.
It'll get more difficult, but I still think you're
luckily
in. You know, as long as you don't get wrecked out. So
I mean, I kind of like this track, so it kind of fit right into my hands, especially with the way the hand.
Yeah, hell of a race. I'm gonna go say bye to the boys.
All right, man, take it easy.
All right, dude. Have a good night.
For the next round, this first round, I kind of, other than the Roval, of course, you got to practice for a road course. But
I was thinking that the next one was only 4 drivers, but the next one
go put in some work and
will be 4.
See how it plays out in these next 2, man, to just see if we can have one more, or at least another shot to try to go repeat this championship.
Yeah, 2 races.
Wait to see how you're going to perform in 2 weeks
to get the top 4.
The floor is now yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, shout out.
And then the top 4 race at Kansas.
First to my teammate Ken Campbell. Great win by him. Great battle. Glad that he could go out there and lock his way in there, get him some playoff points. So that helps him for the second round. So that's great for us. Also, teammates Christopher Norris.
So it'd be Zach,
Medlin, always a great
me,
Freaky Fast Racing. So shout out the Freaky Fast broadcast.
Ken,
you guys,
and then Cameron.
You do, and all
top
the
4 in points probably.
Here at Full Sin Racing is it's definitely one of the best leagues out there. So
Cam in this race,
if you're looking for something like this.
Well, that's going to be your second place finish here. The 32 of Zach Hall. Congratulations on second place. Off to the 8 machine of Brian McCann, one of the biggest movers of the night. Brian, qualifying didn't go your way, but at the end of the day, still come away with 3rd place. How are you feeling after this run?
Feeling pretty good up here in 3rd. Can't complain. Yeah, and like you said, horrible qualifying run.
Brian, I think you might be muted there, but man, what a run for yourself.
My bad. Yeah, I forgot to hit my button. Yeah, a horrible qualifying run, like you said, and just made a big mistake on it and came back out and just slowly went up through the field. But, tires was the big thing tonight, and it was hard to come up through the field and save tires. So I got to the point where I had a strategy to try to undercut Ken and everybody else in front of me there. And I think I came into pits in 5th and led and just crossed my fingers for a caution because I knew they was going to catch me. I wanted to get on an equal set of tires with them and try to hold that lead.
I mean, Brian, you had that bad qualifying run. I mean, you made it look easy coming through the field, up 11 spots from where you started tonight, tied for the biggest mover. I mean, what was it like? We saw how hard it was to get passes done, but I mean, man, you made it look easy out there getting up to 3rd. But I mean, just what was it like out there to make those passes and get up there?
There's a lot of waiting. Early on in the run, single file, it was hard to pass. You had to wait for the tires to get a little difference on them. That way you can get a run. Arrow really messed with you. It was a lot of stuff. It was real hard to pass is basically what it boils down to. So you kind of had to wait for your opportunity.
I mean, Brian, with the amount of points that you came into tonight's race, you practically were locked in just by starting. What is the pressure, though, heading into this next round? Auto Club, Bristol are going to be the next 2 races in this round of 8. What are your thoughts for those next 2 races to make the final 4?
Yeah, big track, little track. A lot of things can go wrong, so hopefully just try to keep it clean. I think I'd be pretty good at Auto Club. Bristol, I usually do pretty good, but that's short track racing. I mean, anything can happen there, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right about that. But Brian, still a solid run for yourself here tonight. Congratulations on a 3rd place finish. And before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my family, you guys, for putting on this wonderful broadcast. All the league admins, everybody that helps behind the scenes, the sponsors, and yeah, the drivers for showing up. Amazing race tonight. Thank you.
Well, that will be your third place finisher this evening. Brian McCann and the 8 Machine, congratulations on making it to the next round, and good luck in 2 weeks at Auto Club.
Thank you.
As
got to push my button. Pete will respond to me when I don't push my button. I think that's, oh, I didn't say repeat. No. Oh, that's 2 times back to back. I told him I was going to too. I need to have like a sticky note. Anyway, I owe him 1, 2. I owe him 2. He did a wonderful job. I will see you for full send in 2 weeks. We got next week off in this league.